Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside, inviting you to consider the options you have while walking in nature. So we already know that nature heals. There are so many reasons for spending time in nature as it affects our emotional state. Just walking in nature is calming, right? Reduces cortisol. Time in nature does that. And when you're out for a walk, right, there's a chance for you to practice some mindfulness, which will, with fresh air and with access to daylight, increase serotonin. Those are feel-good chemicals, reducing cortisol. This all happens in about 20 minutes. All right. Studies show that any more exposure to, beyond a half hour doesn't really change the levels that much. But that 20 minutes, half hour, that's the sweet spot. I want to offer you another opportunity to do just more than that. If it is safe to do so, consider walking backwards. So walking backwards, for me as somebody who walks regularly, just gets a chance to engage different muscle groups. All right, so already it's going to change my posture. I'm engaging entirely different parts of my quads, my calves, my knees, all those stabilizer muscles. But more importantly, what it's doing to my brain. Walking backwards forces you to use a different part of your brain. So I'm able to practice mindfulness without the act of what's considered meditation. All right, so mindfulness means being present. And right now, I'm very focused on maybe my own safety, my own stability. All right, I'm being aware. So what I'm looking at, I'm using my peripheral vision. So my eyes are forced to go left and right, left and right, left and right. And psychologists have done some studies, more specifically with people suffering from diagnosed anxiety. So what happens when we're walking backwards is the part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for those emotions, it shuts off. So our cerebellum, which is deeply engaged, is activated. All right, the cerebellum is more specifically focused on movement and balance. And when you're walking backwards, as much as we use the cerebellum when we're walking forward, the cerebellum 300 times more engaged, which means more opportunities for like specific use, very focused. So this is why it's encouraged. Again, when you can do it safely, walking backwards. And we're talking, the study showed it was about 100 steps. So if you're not ready for 100 steps backwards, right, whether it's your own comfort, whether it's your terrain, whether you're just not comfortable or safe, start with 20 and work your way up. Now, maybe if you're on an indoor track, right, a little more vocal safety, right, maybe your timing, don't maybe use the track, practice this skill when it's very busy. But if you can walk backwards in nature, you're getting all those benefits of the nature exposure, the mindfulness of the smells and the sounds, of the colors, right? Added benefits of the daylight, right? Which also, depending on the time of day, well, any time of day really, is going to put your body in sync with the natural sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythms. And already spending 20 minutes in nature is just going to affect you in a more positive way. The act of walking, simple exercise. It's low impact. But if you can walk backwards, what it does for emotional state is amazing. So your amygdala is also heightened, right? The use of that part. So when we're talking about rumination, it's canceled out. So again, walking forward in nature does engage your amygdala, right? So those ruminating thoughts, well, you're more focused, you're more mindful when you open your senses up to experiencing nature all around you. And we know that those folks who suffer from trauma specifically, the act of participating in lateral eye movement, right, engages both hemispheres of the brain, both the logical and the emotional, in a balanced way. So walking backwards does that in an infinitely new way. So when it's safe to do so, try 100 steps backwards, right? Completely different, engaging different muscle groups. So it's good for just your overall, engagement of those new muscle groups. So you're getting in a little bit more of the strength training, right? More so than just a regular walk forward. But what it does to our emotional state, in addition to what nature would already be providing forward, is just so different. So when it's safe to do so, try and find 100 steps. I've counted, that was about 200. So, but again, I've got a little more practice than the average bear, and I'm a little more comfortable on my feet just because of my practice of walking, especially here in nature on that stretch. So pick your timing, and remember, there's other reasons than going outside than just the fresh air for the exercise. There's more ways to walk, all right? You've often seen me walking with a weighted vest. Again, that's just for my own strength training. And you see me do some interval walking, all right? So that's 3 minutes forward at a faster pace, 3 minutes at a much slower pace, just to differently engage my heart rate, differently engage the use of my muscles, differently engage my circulatory system. So a little bit of, training that way. Interval walking. And again, it's still low impact. I'm still able to communicate, still able to share and hold dialogue. All right, so that takes practice as well. So many options for changing the way you walk, where you walk, how you walk, why you walk. All of these are factors in your overall health. So many reasons to walk, so many more reasons to walk backwards. All right, so look after yourself. We need you. You need yourself. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.